What's up, everybody? Welcome on in, guys, to our Tuesday MLB betting show for you. Big week ahead. Want to remind you really quickly, we got the MLB show today. Obviously, tomorrow we have our final mock draft show of the year for the NFL. And then obviously Thursday, we have our 4-hour special show where we are live during the draft, giving our predictions, going on the clock with all the teams that are up. And also before that, going to talk about the NHL and NBA games for you guys on the Wednesday show. So really fun week ahead. Baseball today, hockey and NBA tomorrow, and then NFL draft there on Thursday. And then Friday, going to do some recaps for you guys as well. So with all that said, I'm your host, Riggs Tamburo. This is the Sports Forum on 12-ounce sports, Roku TV, Fire TV, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find us at any of the stuff below. Also going to pop that up on the screen for you. Check out sportsforummedia.com for some more information on us and some more betting articles as well. Now, with that said, huge MLB slate today, and we're going to jump straight on in here and talk about a few of these. We don't have a play on every game, but we have a lot of plays here today, so I'm not going to waste any time going through the games that we're not going to talk about. I'm going to jump straight through here to one of the games we are going to talk about, and we're going to talk here today, guys, not just about betting, but the deeper ends of it. Ways to look at plays, good value, bad value, teams to fade, pitchers to fade, red flags, etc. Got you guys covered today. So with that said, moving on down here, we're going to kick things off actually with the White Sox and the Twins here in this game, 7:40 p.m. Eastern time. As you can see there, we got Davis Martin on the mound for the White Sox on the road, plus 205 here on the money line. Twins putting their man Bailey Ober on the mound at home. Twins kind of reeling right now, if I'm being honest with you, but we'll get into that in just a second. What I do want to talk about here is the pitching matchup just to kick things off. You got Davis Martin here. I'll tell you what, Martin is a better pitcher than I think he gets a rap sheet for. The dude actually has looked pretty darn good this year. Yeah, he's had his moments, but he plays for the White Sox. He doesn't get very much run help. His bullpen doesn't do him a lot of favors, so go ahead and put his record out of it. Looking at him specifically, he's been relatively good. He's kept the team in games, had a couple games where he does a good job of keeping you in it and you lose barely or pulling off the outright upset. So don't sleep on Davis Martin in this game. But the big guy everybody's talking about in this one is that man, Bailey Ober. Ober, one of those pitchers, man, for the Twins that is very, very hot and cold. You never really know what you're going to get with this guy. As you could expect against good hitting teams, he tends to struggle, and the White Sox are not considered a good hitting team. So does that mean he's going to have a good game here? Not necessarily. The White Sox, the one thing I'm going to give this team, especially on the road, as a matter of fact, is they've been keeping games close for the most part, unless they play powerhouse teams. They win a lot of games by one. They lose a lot of games by one. They're tied or winning in the 7th, 8th inning a lot. And then, yes, their bullpen does do them in sometimes. But overall, I think they've been playing better than their record reflects. Anyway, with that said, plus 205 here on the money line, minus 250 for the Twins. The big question in this one really isn't, are the Twins going to win the game? It's, are the Twins going to cover on the run line? Well, quick reminder, if you're playing at home and you're up by 1 run heading into the 9th inning or more, you will not bat. So if you're only up by 1, you physically cannot cover the run line if you're not ahead by at least 2 after the 8th inning. So with all of that said, looking here at this one, it's minus 115, which, to be frank, I think it's kind of bullshit. I don't really like that number. Yes, they're minus 250. Yes, it's 8.5 runs, so it is projected for quite a few runs here. But for that to not have a plus sign in front of it, I'm just a little bit surprised, if I'm being completely honest. You take a look here at the bullpens. The Minnesota Twins, to be fair, are a better bullpen as well in this game, but they're kind of reeling right now. So starting at the worst teams in baseball and getting on down to the best teams in baseball, let's take a look here. If you guys recall, the Twins for the last couple of weeks that we've been talking baseball have been top 5, top 6, top 7, top 5 consistently. And all of a sudden, look at the board. Do you see the Minnesota Twins? Because that's 10 teams right there. And they're nowhere to be found. This time a week ago, They were right there. Now they're not. So let's go ahead and find where the Twins are. They're not 10. They're not 11, not 12, not 13. Oh, look, there's the Pittsburgh Pirates, not 14, not 15. Oh, now we're getting there. Right in the middle of the pack. The Twins, 3.69 ERA on the year. And let me tell you something. They have one save. One save, folks. It's not like we just had opening day, okay? One save. Look at all the other teams. 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, 6, 11, 3, 7, 1 for the Minnesota Twins. They do not do a good job of holding on to the lead, especially with that being over the last 10 to 14 days, which is why this team has gone from a top 5 bullpen in the first 3 weeks to a 15-16 type of bullpen here. They are very mediocre at this point. You take a look there overall at their whip, not great either, a 1.18. It's just not really giving me anything here from the Twins. On the other side, let's find the White Sox. Not too far back here, but they are a bit further back. There you go. The White Sox, about 5 spots behind them here, a 4.280 saves on the year for Chicago. Pretty much the worst bullpen when it comes to saves than the Twins. Everybody else is better than both of them. Now, with all of that said, guys, the White Sox, like I mentioned, have been keeping games close. Their bullpen, while they're not saving a lot of games, that's usually because they're not winning games when it's time for the bullpen to come in and pick up saves. So don't think too much into that one. Where I'm getting at with this is, guys, the Twins are reeling. Their bats have been very, very ice cold. Their bullpen has fallen off the face of the earth. The White Sox, on the other hand, even though it doesn't look like it right there, their bullpen has actually been on the up and up in this spot. And you can say whatever you want here about this pitching matchup, but in my opinion, Bailey Ober is a bit of an overrated pitcher, and Davis Martin is a bit of a slept-on pitcher. I got 3 plays for you guys in this game. It's the only game of the day that we're rocking with 3 plays in one game. The very first play here, we're going to go with the over 8.5 runs in this game. Now, you can find that at -110, even up to -106 on quite a few books. I like the over 8.5 in this game. No matter who wins, we should see right about 9, maybe 11 runs scored here in this one. So take the over 8.5. Then when it comes to the run line, I do like the White Sox plus 1.5. As you see here, once again, -105, but that number is at plus money in a few other spots. I think it's worth a look there. If the White Sox don't win, they should at least be around here in this game. Give me the White Sox plus 1.5 at plus 100. Over 8.5 plus 1.5. And then we're actually putting the Twins money line in a parlay, and I'll get you that parlay piece here very, very shortly. But we're going to take the Twins money line, but we're not willing to take them by 2 or more in this game. Good luck to you guys in that game right there. Should be a fun one. Second game on the board, not going to waste too much time on it, but I can't go without talking about it, to be honest with you, is the game right below it, the Dodgers taking on the Cubs here. Same time here, 7:40 p.m. Eastern time. You got over under 8 runs here in this one, -122 for the Dodgers here, plus money at home with Shota Imanaga on the mound taking on Dustin May. The Cubs plus 102 is a very interesting line for that team being at home. Now, we did see the Cubs visit the Dodgers earlier this year, and it really didn't go all that great for Chicago. They had a couple moments where it was good. It was good. But overall, they had moments that, especially towards the later end of the series, where it kind of started to scare me. Now, they're back home in this one. You can say whatever you want about Dustin May. I don't think he's as good as Imanaga. I'm not that high on Imanaga, but he looks really good so far this year, especially when he pitches at home. I really like Shota here, guys. We're taking the Cubs plus the 102, but we're juicing up a little bit. Can't believe this line. I think the books are making a mistake here. You can find the Cubs first 5 money line at plus 110. Are you freaking kidding me? I put it in before the show started just to make sure I got the line before it moved. So I promise you the line is there. Go get it. Cubs first 5 plus 110. Better pitcher at home. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want, brother, but I think it's worth it at the plus money number. So try them out here. Then obviously the run line, we're not going to touch it. As you can see, -155 for the plus 1.5, plus 130 for the minus 1.5. If you're on the Dodgers, the one thing I'll give you here is I don't see any value on the Dodgers minus the 122. I just don't really think they should be anything more than a minus 110 here, maybe even a small underdog. So if you're going to take them to get it done, I think you got to do it by the 1.5 here and just hope on the road. You know, they get to bat 9 times. Try it out there if you want to, but I'm not going to take that play. Cubs first 5 money line, over under 8 runs. I don't really like the over under here, but just because we're on the game, the over at minus 118, the under basically at plus 100. I actually lean towards the under in this game here. I think at plus money, you really can't go wrong with the Cubs in this one, or just the over-under in this one. Dustin May is a good pitcher, as much as I just talked crap about him. It's not even that I don't like May. It's just that I think Shota looks really, really good so far this season. So good luck to you guys in Cubs versus Dodgers. The dog is barking in that one. Good luck to you. Then one of the games that I'm really, really excited about here on this board is the game, once again, right below it, the Blue Jays taking on the Astros here. Toronto on the road. They got their man coming on in here, Chris Bassett, who has looked very, very strong so far this season. On the other end, you got Blanco coming off that beautiful gem of a game his last time out. Really good line here, too. Pretty much a pick 'em. The Astros on a lot of books are actually about minus 120, minus 125. DraftKings is the closest to a pick 'em that I have seen so far. So, you know, just something to consider. Make sure you do your homework depending on which side you're going to be on here. But you can find the Blue Jays at plus money. But let's just talk about it here as a pick 'em. Why not? Call the Blue Jays baby dogs. Over under 8 runs here, minus 110 either way. Look, Blanco, you had a great game, brother. Blanco is not as good as Chris Bassett. He's just not. Now, if you take a look here at the bullpens, we do see a little bit of a difference here in bullpens that might make you sway more one way than the other. But you got the Astros here in that number 4 spot for bullpen, 2.8 ERA on the year, 7 saves for these guys, and a pretty nice 1.11 whip for those guys over there. Now you go on a little scrolling spree and you find the Blue Jays right here. It's not bad by any means. It's one step above the Twins, 3.69 ERA. Crazy they got the same ERA, and one team has 1 save and one team has 7, but whatever. The whip is just barely better for Toronto actually in this game, which is kind of interesting, but overall, I don't want to play the full game here. I'm looking at the first 5. Once again, I do believe Chris Bassett is the better pitcher here. And guys, let me tell you right now, you can get this line at first 5 plus 100 on the money line for the Blue Jays here. I think it's a mistake. Most books, you actually see the Blue Jays have worse odds for the full game money line on the road in Houston. We're the worst bullpen. I don't know why that is, but plus money in the first 5 is way too good to pass up. Take that one for the Blue Jays. And then also, we're going to double down in this game here. We're going to go with the first 5 under 4 runs. Now, I will say you can get this at 4.5 runs at about minus 125, minus 130. But for me personally, I saw some juice on one of the other books. I decided to take it. I'm going to go under the 4 solid here. Not going to go for any extra at plus 100 for the first 5 under. I do believe Blanco looks pretty good coming off his last start. Bassett's going to look good here. This should be a 1-0, 2-1, maybe kind of game after 5 innings. 4 runs feels relatively safe here, especially if you get a plus sign in front of it. So good luck to you guys. Blue Jays, Astros should be a fun one. Then moving on through here, I'm just going to keep going on the game below for all the games that are the next game below that we actually have plays on. That is going to be the Pirates taking on the Angels here. Bailey Falter and the boys on a pretty gross losing streak here for Pittsburgh. They were home all weekend, couldn't find a way to get a win. Some games couldn't find a way to get a hit, couldn't score runs, couldn't do nothing right. Well, Bailey Falter here is getting the start on the road, plus 160 on the money line. Jose Soriano for Los Angeles here. Pretty rare to see the Angels as a damn near minus 200 favorite. It's not quite that much juice to lay, but minus 190 is still a pretty big number when we're talking about the LA Angels, who just aren't ever really favored like that. But it's just an example of how bad Pittsburgh are right now. They can't get out their own way. Things have always, for the past few years, gotten worse for them when they go on the road. There's not a lot of faith here for me. I am someone that likes the Pirates in the dog spot sometimes, but for what I've seen over the last 10 days or so, I don't see any value in trying them. I like the Angels in this game, but let's take one quick look here, because something that most people do not know, do not pay attention to, and it's like I keep telling you guys, Covers has the best bullpen stats. I love using them, so shout out to them. But Covers.com, taking a look here at bullpens. Let's go all the way to the back. Washington Nationals, the worst bullpen, 2 spots in front of them. The LA Angels, 5.37. By the way, just throwing it out there, the Phillies, the second worst bullpen in baseball. Brewers, 4th worst. Cubs, 5th worst. These are teams that are playing well, that a lot of people like to bet on. It's important for you guys to know these things. But we're talking about the LA Angels, who shockingly are this bad of a bullpen, but they have 7 saves on the year, 5.37 in the ERA category, a really tough whip here with a 1.57. Overall, they've only given up 40 runs, though, which is actually really good when you look at all the company around them on this screen at all. They've given up the least amount of runs compared to any team on this board here in the bottom 10. So just an interesting thing. But you take a look here at the Pittsburgh Pirates, you got to go all the way on a scrolling spree. We talked about the Twins. We talked about the Blue Jays. Well, one spot in front of them is the Pittsburgh Pirates. These guys can't seem to win baseball games, but it's not because of their pitching. It's because of their bats. So for that reason, Pittsburgh on the road, I believe they have the worst of the 2 starting pitchers, but they have the better bullpen. You guys know where I'm going with this. We're rocking with the first 5 money line. Oh, but wait, no, we're not. We're going with the first 5 minus 1.5 or minus 0.5 here, meaning the Angels have to be winning after 5 innings. It could be 1 run. It could be 15 runs. All they have to do is be winning after 5 innings, trying to get you guys a nice number there. You can find it up to plus 100, some places minus 110. I'm cool with minus 110 in this game. Take the Angels to be winning after 5. Soriano should shut these bats down. And whatever happens here, man, they should be able to crack falter for at least 2 or 3. I won't be surprised if they got 3 runs by the end of the 2nd inning, to be completely honest with you. This shouldn't be too much of an ask here for the LA Angels. Take them minus half a run in the first 5 innings and avoid that bullpen. I get it. People are going to take the Angels, put them in the money line in a money line parlay today. I don't hate it, obviously, but I don't see the value there because the bullpen could screw them late if they only have like a 1-2 run lead getting into the later innings. So approach with caution on that one there, and good luck to you guys in that game. But moving on through here, guys, we got the D-backs. Not going to spend too much time here, but we have a parlay piece in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the first end of this parlay piece, and then I'll get to the second piece very, very quickly. We got the Rays on the road at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, taking on the Arizona Snakes. Brandon Pfaadt taking the mound here for the D-backs. Not a great year for Brandon Pfaadt so far. We were very high on him last season, and he did a phenomenal job for us, made us a heck of a lot of money over here at the Sports Forum, but just hasn't been the same start for him. Minus 162 on the money line here for Arizona. Now, Pfaadt does clearly have a better record when he plays at home, so that's at least promising. He's due for a really good outing. Could it be here? It might be. The Rays putting their man Zach Little on the mound in this one, plus 136. Here's the problem with Zach Little. He's pretty much been a bullpen guy for a really, really long time. When he does get starts, it's usually because all the other guys are out and they're trying to go with a bullpen game. I don't want to call him a bullpen guy because he's not technically a bullpen guy, but to be fair, he's also not a seasoned veteran starter who has any business playing against the D-backs on the road in Arizona when they're hitting the hell out of the baseball. I could see this being a tough outing for Zach Little. The only way the Rays, in my opinion, win this game is if Brandon Pfaadt gets absolutely blown up, especially on the deep ball, which has been a problem for him so far this season. So something to consider, guys. But the bet, and the only bet for us in this game, is the first 5 money line for the Arizona Diamondbacks in this game. It's not a lot of juice. It's like -155, -165 overall. But I think in the first 5, if it's tied, you get your money back. It's all good. Go ahead and take them in the first 5 money line D-backs. Then we did have a question about the over-under in this game. The over-under here, the over 9 is +102. You can find it up to +110, which is pretty interesting. The odds makers really don't want to just give it the bump up. I guess I get why, but I also don't. We're getting a relatively heavy set of money here, 64% coming in on the over in this game. I just said Brandon Pfaadt's going to have a better game, but I also pointed out he's had struggles. Zach Little, not the kind of guy I trust. I think at plus money, if you're going to pick, I would go with the over in this game, but my favorite bet is the first 5 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Good luck in that one. Brewers, Giants, not a lot here for us in this game. However, we still have 2 plays. They're just not 2 plays that we're thrilled about per se. The first play here, well, let's take a look at it. Jose Quintana taking the mound for Milwaukee, +115 on the money line. You guys just saw it. Their bullpen is atrocious, a bottom 4 bullpen in all of baseball. Jordan Hicks taking the mound here for the Giants, -135 in their own house. We cashed in on the Giants yesterday. Are we going to go with the Giants again here today? Unfortunately, we're not, and that's because their bats have just not been looking as good as we expect their bats to look until they really get it back under them. I don't want to play with that here. They could wake up against the Milwaukee bullpen, but I don't really believe this team is dangerous enough for the other 5-6 innings that I think Quintana is going to be in the game here. So we're actually, very rare play for me, I'm taking the Brewers in this game on the first 5 money line. It's +115. A lot of good juice there. I'm a bit surprised by this number. We're getting the better pitcher here at the much better price tag. Try the Brewers first 5. Try to get yourself paid on this beautiful Tuesday. And then our second play here, we are going to go with the first 5 under. We're going to go with the 4 again, not the 4.5. If you only get offered 4.5 and it's -125 or better, I'm cool with it. But at the plus money number, +100 for the first 5 under 4 runs, I think there's some value on that line. So good luck to you guys in the D-backs taking on the Brewers. Let's see here if there's any other games below this game that we're taking. Yeah, there is. This is a parlay piece for us here. I just gave you guys the D-backs first 5 money line. Well, we got a +185 play for you here. We are going with the Athletics first 5 money line as well. I could go deep into this, but I'm not gonna, because there's one reason why you should not take the Rangers in this game in the first 5 innings, and his name is Patrick Corbin, one of the worst pitchers in baseball for the last few years running. He's obviously on the Rangers now. I will give it to him. He looks better than he's looked over the past few seasons. He has 2, in my opinion, pretty good starts under his belt, but I still don't trust the guy. And I don't really think that there's enough here to make up for how bad Patrick Corbin is. Now, Osvaldo Bido is a good pitcher, not a great pitcher. He should limit the Rangers' bats pretty well here. The over-under is 10 runs in this game, so they don't think the pitchers are going to do a damn thing. Well, if they think the pitchers are going to get blown up, my money is on that to be Patrick Corbin getting blown up in this game. Don't want to play with the Athletics bullpen. They scare the living piss out of me, but I'm cool with Bido on the first 5 money line. You put the D-backs first 5 money line with the Athletics first 5 money line in a little parleezy, +185 for you guys on that parlay. Juice on the board. It's risky, but I think it's worth it. Good luck to everybody in that one. Now, moving on up here, just a couple minutes left. Going to give you guys any of our last plays here. Let's go ahead and go right on over to the Rockies and the Royals. Not going to spend a lot of time here. As you guys know, the Rockies are the worst damn team in baseball. They are plus a juicy plus 180 in this game. Royals minus 218 here. Chris Bubick taking on Ryan Feltner. Feltner, another one of those guys that I kind of put into the realm of the Brandon Pfaadt of the world. Had some promising starts last year, had a lot of hopes for him coming into this year, and just really hasn't done anything with what he did last season. I don't really want to buy into the Rockies here. And here's the catch. Even if Ryan Feltner, shout out Paul Skeens, even if Ryan Feltner does his job, they don't have the bats to do shit to anybody. It's useless. So I don't know, man. You're basically betting on Ryan Feltner to go on the road and have a good game, which he hasn't done all year. Then you're banking on the bullpen to come in, save the game on the road. Well, they don't do that either. So you got a problem in this game. Chris Bubick, not my favorite pitcher for the Royals, not my top two favorite pitchers for the Royals, but he is better than Ryan Feltner in this game. And most importantly, his team hits the baseball while the Rockies don't. Now, with that said, guys, minus 218, it's too rich for my blood there to bet that straight. I'm not betting 218 on the money line. So we are going with the Royals money line, and we're going to parlay that with the pick we gave you earlier, which is the Twins on the money line. You put those two games together, Twins money line and the Royals money line plus 100. It's a risky parlay. It really shouldn't be, to be completely honest with you, but the Royals have had some suspect moments. I'm actually more worried about the Twins against the White Sox, which is crazy because they're the biggest favorite of the day. I'm more worried about them blowing the parlay than the Royals, but I think you put these two together, guys. You're laying no runs. They should be able to find a way to win this game. So Royals, Twins money line plus 100. Good luck to everybody in that one. Then moving on over here. Not a lot more plays for you guys, but one more game we want to talk about is the Phillies game. You can see it here on the board, top of the screen. Phillies got their man Chris Sanchez taking the mound, a small favorite on the road, minus the 135 number. On the other side, Griffin Canning taking the mound for the New York Mets. Mets with a 1-0 win yesterday, looking to build off of that one here. But the question is, can they? You know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if they can here. The Mets, they've been decent, but Canning has been a little bit suspect, but his bullpen is pretty darn solid. Sanchez on the other side. Look, man, I'm not one that really trusts the Phillies any game, anytime, anywhere. Bottom two bullpen. They struggle on the road. They have good at-bats. They could score 8 runs and then give up fucking 9. I can't stand these guys. But that said, Sanchez has been looking pretty darn good this year. And as much as I'm not a Griffin Canning guy, he's looked pretty good too. So you could try the Mets plus 115 on the money line here, but I think it's kind of a trap spot. The Mets have been so good. They've made bettors so much money so far this season, and now they're a juicy plus money number in their own house. There's something missing here, in my opinion, and I think odds makers are putting their money on Sanchez to get this thing done. Once again, bottom two bullpen. Why are you favored to win the game on the road? It doesn't make sense. So what we're doing is the first 5 innings, not on the Phillies money line. You can try it, but it's minus 145. We're going with the first 5 under 4.5 runs here in this game. On that number, you can go ahead and find it. Let's see here. Minus 4 or under 4.5, minus 110 straight. Really like that number. Don't look for the 4. Don't look for the 5. Take it at 4.5, and good luck to you guys there. All right, man. We just cruised through that MLB schedule. Good luck to you guys on that one. Sportsforummedia.com. Go ahead and check that out. Sports bettors. Man, if you guys are not a VIP member yet, you need to do yourself a favor and become a VIP member. Winnable.com/Blitz Betting. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, but we predominantly use Instagram at Blitz Sports Bets. That's Blitz with a Z, obviously, as you can see there at Blitz Sports Bets. Give us a follow. Click that link in our bio. It's that link right there. Go ahead and get yourself a VIP package. Also, you can use code TSF20. That's TSF20 at checkout and get 20% off from our friends over at the Sports Forum. So appreciate you guys there. Good luck to everybody in that one. I'm Riggs Tamburo. Make sure to join us tomorrow for our NBA and NHL show. And then once again, do not miss, baby, the Thursday NFL Draft live show, 4 hours. Pop on in on Twitter. Come hang out with us for a little bit. Give your take on some picks and just enjoy it as the show goes on there on Thursday. But until next time, I got to get out of here. Shout out to our friends over at 12 Ounce Sports. And good luck, guys. Hope I picked you enough winners.